So if you've clicked on this video, your eyes are probably uneven and you are trying to find a solution to it. Now, for me, my eyes were uneven for 5 whole years and I thought it was just never going to change. Actually, I spent like year 1, 2, 3 thinking one day it'll change, one day it'll get better, and it never did until I figured out how to fix it myself. And hopefully that's what I'm going to share with you today. My eyes I liked, but they weren't my favorite thing. I am half Chinese, and one of the things that I inherited from that ethnicity is obviously my eyes. And they're probably one of the only parts of my face that you can tell are Chinese. And I really didn't realize how much I miss them and love them and value them until they became uneven. And I had some theories about what made them uneven. Some of them were stress, allergies, inflammation, and lash serums. So I would not be surprised if many of you clicking on this video have used lash serums, and it has in fact made your eyes a little bit asymmetrical. And basically what happened was my sister was on TikTok and she kept seeing all these videos of people complaining about their eyes no longer being even and the shape of their eyes kind of changing and not really knowing what caused it, and then realizing that it was in fact their lash serum that they've been using. So for me, I used eye envy for a couple years and I loved what it did to my eyelashes. I didn't even mind the slight discoloration around my eyes. I actually liked it. But I think it's what actually did cause my eyes to become uneven. Specifically, it was this eye, and uneven, again, like I mentioned, for 5 whole years. So how did I fix it? Well, I tried some techniques over time. I had looked up on YouTube some things that might be able to help me. I tried some massage techniques where you like press the different areas and maybe you like do some drainage and you like, you try some different pressing and squeezing and pinching and stuff like that. Didn't really work. But on my main channel, one time, I had posted that I was having this issue and I really wanted to fix it and I was sad about my eyes. And someone commented that they do gua sha, you know what I mean? That little like jade-esque tool that they like rub along their eye, and that helps them for a very similar issue. Now, I didn't have that tool, but I just thought, okay, let me like emulate that kind of movement a bit and see whether I can accomplish something. And it did. Doing this practice did help me, and I'll show you exactly the movements that I did and all the tips and tricks that I have, and hopefully this will work for you too. So the first thing is you need to do this first thing in the morning, the first thing that you do when you open your eyes. Like, do not wait 2 minutes after you open your eyes. You need to open your eyes and do this right away. If you wait 2 minutes, it will not work because it will not stick. So it just, for some reason, it needs to be like, do the exercise. So the first thing you're going to do is you are going to go slow and you're going to apply pressure, but you are not going to apply too much pressure that it hurts. So basically what I do is I start here and I apply pressure and I roll it out and then I roll it down. And I will go slow. Sometimes I'll kind of do this thing and I'll kind of apply that pressure, roll it out, and bring it down, keeping my eye closed while I'm doing this. Slow, firm pressure, rolling and down. And then what I'll do right away is I'll lift up my eyelid so that this part kind of has enough space to go in, and I'll place it on top so that my eye is sitting properly. So again, I'll lift it and place it on top. And if you're new to doing this, it might stay like this for 1 second, but as you blink, it's gonna go back. And then again, you're gonna wanna do this movement. And for context, you guys, I'm not putting pressure against my actual eyeball very much. It's actually like right above my eyeball, right where the eye socket is. So it's like right, if you're following the tip of my fingernail, it's like right along here. So right underneath this bone and in between my bone and that spot. Sorry, this is such a weird angle, but hopefully you can see it's right here. There's a bone here and it's right underneath that I'm placing the pressure. Real time, this is what it would look like. And again, you can kind of feel the pressure in that inner corner and up as you're doing it. And then again, like this. And try not to blink if you can. And then when you blink, you're gonna replace it, and do this in front of a mirror as well so that you can see that it's like sitting where it goes. And you're basically gonna repeat this for a minute or two. And the way that I'm kind of envisioning this as I'm doing it is I'm almost envisioning that there, in my mind, I'm envisioning that there's almost like a liquid here, and I'm like rolling slowly, kind of pushing the liquid this way and down. Yeah, and then placing. This is a good clip from about a year ago where you can see my eye is swollen, and I'm actually doing an earlier technique that I had tried. This is the first one that I actually found worked, where I at least just put pressure on the inside, hold that for a couple seconds, and then place my eyelid. And it works, but it also has a tendency to not last as well. And then I figured out the technique that I've been showing you, and that one works great. But at least here you can see that it goes from swollen and distorted to how it's meant to be. Now, I did this every day as a morning routine for maybe a couple of weeks or maybe even a month. First thing when my eyes open, I'm doing this exercise. And it would basically start sticking throughout the day. So it would stay throughout the day. The next day, I would wake up and do it. It would stick throughout the day. I would test, is it kind of just sticking for a second and then going away? And after doing it for a couple weeks, I noticed it would just stay. Like throughout the day, it's gonna stay, it's gonna stay, it's gonna stay. Now, sometimes that will trick you, because if you start doing this and it starts staying and you're doing it every morning, and after 2 weeks, you're like, okay, let me skip tomorrow. And you wake up tomorrow and you're like, oh, maybe it's actually like that automatically when you wake up. It's automatically like placed properly. Your eyes are symmetrical. It will trick you because, or at least for me, it did. It would stay like this, but then 2 minutes later, or 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, it goes back to whatever the form it was before. That was a little bit distorted. And at that point, because it would be 2, 5, 10 minutes later, it's too late. If I keep doing it, it wouldn't stick. Now, I'm so happy to say that after doing this for months and months and keeping track of it and all that stuff, my eyes finally, thank God, stick like this. My eyes are symmetrical again. This is the original shape of my eyes and my heritage. And I will notice every once in a blue moon, I'll wake up and it will be a little bit distorted and have that extra fold in my eye, and I'll just do that kind of technique and it will fix it. But basically, I would like to say thank you to this user who commented that this was her technique because she inspired my technique, and that has effectively given me a piece of my heritage back. And I am so thankful for that. Now, it just as a little secret, I actually preferred in some sense how this eye had become when it was a little bit distorted, because makeup applied better. You know, that's like the brainwashing of makeup technique and how eyes should look and all this stuff. But you know what? Having it back like this, I value this so much. This is amazing to me. It doesn't even matter how makeup goes on or anything. This is how I was meant to be and how I was born. And I love that. So hopefully this has given you a new thing to consider. Obviously, I am not a medical expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Don't have any pain while you're doing anything. And obviously you're trying this at your own risk. I hold no liability. This is just what worked for me, and I thought I would share it in case it can help any of you out. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.